Yes, alt er broken. Det er fedt. Jeg kan ikke finde ud af at optage. Fuck it. Stupid system. Så kan han ikke finde ud af at optage. Ah! It's working, finally. Let's set this. Very last piece. Thing up here that then should be working too. If it wants to react. At least it's trying. What did I call this? Of course, they made it so you couldn't click on that and possibly just copy it, because you'd never want to copy that, would you? Just a video title. Does not look like it's working in its entirety right now. Nope. Looks like they kind of did Facebook Live change there? All right, that's just hugely annoying. Would you stop that? I'm using something called Synergy, and what I'm trying to do is copy that on. Okay, also let's try and change the flow of this so you can actually see me. Hello. I'm trying to change some of the information because it seems like Restream finally came to their senses and started kind of supporting Facebook chat again, because
in the past 90 days, 3 people saw their lives changed.
Would you shut up? Facebook.com/live/create, and then leave it over here. It all says it's perfectly okay. Everything's receiving and working, but then when I try to set it up, nothing's working. Stream key. Oh yes, that is what we are using. RTMP URL, that is it. Copy this stream key. In fact, let's reset that, copy the new one, and let's use that and drop the display name and click save. And then I must restart, so for a short second. Bye bye. Oh, too hard. Running too hard. And then this for embedding the chat in the stream also. It's also I'm just setting this up now with I'm just setting this up now with the new OBS Studio, and I'm obviously not used to this. And ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we might have a connection. That's actually pretty impressive. And I just copy the content of that, because of course that's good. We'll see the stream's name over here. Fill that in too, and let's just go live right this instant. So the restream is set up for YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook is running now, and y'all can see me good here. See my wheel and the mess on the floor behind me here. Well, I'll clean that up sometime eventually. So what's going to happen? Well, I'm just gonna run a few laps, see if we are not gonna get joined by some people here when they realize that, well, it's sort of the official GTR24h server that's up now, and it's sort of not. It's with the official GTR24h cars from last year, so you can come in and practice on the track. Up, it's live, and there's no password because it's using the eRacing cars. It's all the cars and the skins from last year's race, apparently. Not something I've set up. It's something that one of the organizers set up to let us enjoy racing around this track. So right now it's just me parked in the garage. And what I'm trying to check out is all my streaming equipment still works, because it's been like literally ages since I did set that up. It says absolutely everything's connected. Facebook says one viewer. Don't know who that is. Restream says none. Facebook, YouTube seems to have a couple of guys with us on YouTube too. One guy now. The chat should be up and running, but it looks like it's not. It looks like it's kind of frozen dead. No. Boxed. Yes, sir. Bottom line message, chat background, opacity. It's completely transparent. I'll never hide the messages. And following the stream on Facebook right now, we got completely black screen, and I have no explanation for that because the screen's not black in the stream, and it's not black on YouTube. How to work with that, I don't know. This just our regular restream IO problems that seems to be hunting us. Yeah, voice is incredibly low. You know what? It's at absolute max level. Gonna have to put in some boosting filters or something here. This gain. Let's gain some. Start with 10 dB. That would be, yeah, that would be better. And thanks, Dennis, for letting me know. Again, Facebook. I don't know what's wrong with that. I have no idea. All right, that gain might need a little bit more. Ba ba da ba. Luckily, there is a load of filters here. Now that's you have to be careful with. You have to be really careful with the gain because it's in decibels, and decibels is a logarithmic scale. So adding 10 dB is one thing, but then adding another 2 dB, I think, is about an extra 50% or something like that. And then when you get up higher, it just starts going insane, and then you just need to add like half a dB to make it twice as loud. Let's try and start the car, see how that volume comes out. That actually doesn't seem to come through at all, so I need to add another audio input capture. And then I suspect this needs to be drawn from where? I don't know. Yeah, now it just after I tried to add it and cancelled it, then stereo mix. Now stereo mix suddenly showed up. Decided to join the game. The car is very low, I can tell. It's there, but it's extremely low. Yeah, because stereo mix captures the microphone too. We can't use stereo mix for this. It needs to be the separate game audio input, and I have no idea how. How you do? Oh, you take an audio input that's an audio output or something like that. Like, it's crazy. I'm all new to this OBS, the newer version. It's OBS Studio. It's annoying. And of course, that to me the video is black on Facebook. I don't know why. Yeah, it's idling nicely. I think we should try and take it out for a spin now. If you can tell me how that works. I need another. Sorry, I need to hang this right up here so I don't get tangled in all the cords. I'm not on it, and it's not a Le Mans setup, so I was supposed to approach this in third, take this in second, but third gear now, so it's gear ratio, then dialed in the gear ratios for Le Mans. So. Wow, black spike. Don't know if people are joining the server, and I'll still have to figure out what in the name of the Lord's going on with Facebook. Factor 2, David. It's people, yes. Change that. It's on the official, semi-official, not official. Anyway, it's live and there. GTR24h server with the cars from last year. So if you've got R-Factor 2, all you need to do is just join the server. I'm gonna have to try and do something dangerous. Yeah, I'll try and lower the engine sound. I need to do something dangerous because I really want to see that Facebook video up and running. If David, can you see anything on the video? Because to me it's all black. So please confirm if you can see anything on Facebook. Just waiting for an answer. Now oh, great. It's just locally here. I'm seeing this. This is my video on Facebook at my end. Doesn't work at all. Okay, so let's dive into it. I wanna run this something that's really cool. I started using a lot. Unfortunately, it's of course gonna have to be banned at the GTR24h, because otherwise you wouldn't even need a pit crew. This is crew chief. I'm gonna have to show you like this instead because I'm not capturing the crew chief window, and it doesn't want to white balance and tune in, so you can't see anything. That's just white. Sorry about that, guys. You can't see that. I'm gonna try and bring the window in on top here. Let's try and add a window capture. Because a lot of people ask me, what's that? What's this thing you got installed? And it's crew chief. All right. There we go. That's crew chief. Select the game. You download it from crew chief something. It's a virtual spotter, race engineer, crew chief guy. It's got different voices, so you can set your name. But you install it, click on the sound packages, download all the 3 different sound packages, select the game that you're running. If you want to do voice commands for your crew chief app, click on the steering wheel and assign a button. I think I'll delete that assignment and say talk to crew chief again. On that one wheel, like my thrustmaster wheel, and then assign control, press a button, and that's button 9. And I should be able to ask him for different things. Let's try that. I don't know the specific commands, but
radio check.
See, that's the crew chief. Track temperature. Is he, or do I have to be in game? Like if I do like this and do like this. Track temperature. I think it was anyway. Right. Le Mans setup. Something. Let's do something quick with this car. I want to run a full tank of fuel. I have a rule of thumb that first gear needs to be around 120, 130 in nearly all cars, because that's the speed that you do Arnage. It's about the speed that you do Arnage corner. You do that at around 80, so you can use first gear in Arnage. It's set up properly. You can use it in Mulsanne corner too. Top speed for this car, I can't remember what it is, but from memory it's about 320 kilometers, but that is the longest it can get, so we need to set it there. There's no overall that we can change, so we want a little bit of tight spacing at the end here, and a little bit broader spacing at the beginning. Because there we got the power and the torque. Steering lock felt okay to me. Power, maybe not that much. And coast, we've got a lot of downforce, so we don't need a lot of coast. We want the car to turn when we turn the wheel. Suspension, from recollection, pretty hard. Otherwise the car's going to bottom out. Ride height is all the way down to 2.6 centimeters. Packers, don't know if that's necessary, but I think those settings are fine. What I want to do is make sure that the rebound on the front wheels is less than the fast rebound on the back, because then the car's gonna gain grip on the rear wheels before the front wheels on all bumps, and that's of course going to make the car a little bit more understeery when I go on the curbs and on the bumps. Another important thing, Le Mans is a track where you attack the curbs, and your anti-roll bar is a bar that's literally connecting the left side of the car to the right side of the car, so that the suspension wants to work together. It resists the suspension in both sides of the cars. Like they want to work, they want to flip the A-arms up and down, or wishbones up and down at the same time. It restricts the movement of one of those independently with a resistance. So when the car runs, you can if you can picture like that, this is the car. When you do a turn, the car wants to, if you turn right, the car wants to tilt left. That wants to compress the suspension in the left side of the car, and decompress the suspension in the other side of the car. And this is to restrict body roll, that you put in the anti-roll bar to kind of make it so that the suspensions don't, that it wants to move, it doesn't want to move independently. What the negative effect of this is, if you run over a curb with the inside wheel here, all that oscillation here, it doesn't, this side of the suspension doesn't want to move independently from the other. So all this oscillation here, small oscillations all the time from touching the curbs and bumps on the inside, it's going to translate with a percentage compare with in relation to the resistance of the anti-roll bar. It's going to translate to the outside wheel and the wheel that the weight of the car is on, and that's going to cause the car to lose grip when those translations hit. And sometimes, because it takes time for this oscillation to travel through the, like, I don't know, speed of sound or speed of whatever, how it translates through metal, it's going to take some time for these bumps to translate to the other side. So it's going to be all wibbly wobbly when you do that. And the way you can reduce that is to reduce your anti-roll bar. So if you've got cars that handle horribly on curbs, high anti-roll bar settings is usually that's going to be the source of it. That's what's causing it. So I want to detach it in the back, and I want to go as low as I can in the front. I can always go up, but I want the car to ride as smooth as possible on the curbs, because we're going to eat a lot of curbs on this track. Chassis settings, caster, as far as I know, this is pretty good for this car. Maybe 7 degrees is enough. I want to go down to that. It's going to lean quite a bit now, so at least 3 degrees of negative camber on the front wheels to keep the tire surface, when the car tilts, the tire surface needs to be kept flat on the tarmac. And it's also going to have to, when you put like an outside push onto the car of the outside wheels at the outside of a turn, then the tire's gonna flex. And the way it flexes is that the outside tire wall is gonna move in more than the inside tire wall moves out. And that's actually going to create some, it's going to create a little bit of extra camber on the surface of the tire, and you're going to have to calculate that in with your camber calculations. But generally, LMP cars run pretty low camber settings. It's tough tire walls, hard tire walls, low profile tires, whereas GT cars are often higher profile tires. And because of the more weight in the car, they run just a little bit softer suspension. They've got less aerodynamic push on the car. This is actually a thing that the Nissan LMP car was struggling with, was the amount of downforce that the car created sort of overcame the stiffness of the suspension. So it kept grounding out the car every time they ran down the straight, and that caused a ton of problems because they couldn't fix it, and the downforce was so great that it just completely slammed the suspension. So LMP cars have to run harder suspensions. Like Formula 1 cars, they run incredibly hard suspension, very, very stiff suspension. As far as I remember, the tires are bogged in this mod, so as low tire pressure as possible. Completely taken over by ridiculous math algorithms. That's about it. I think this is something that we can at least race with this. Radio check. Voice activation doesn't seem to be working. I don't know what channel it's listening on, but...
Pit exit's clear. Your brakes are cold, take it easy. We need to look at the downforce. I forgot that we're running.
ridiculously high downforce. I can even feel it's way too high. Let's fix it immediately. Brake ducting might also be a little bit too much. Suspension's in here. We need to go all the way down. And I think it's 1, 2 or 1, 3. I don't exactly remember. Oh, sorry about that. I forgot I had the crew chief window overlay. Thanks, Jim. That was actually pretty nice of you to tell me. Ah, now I'm moving everything. Ah, it's hard for me to do this. There we go. Did I move the game window? Yes, I did. I'm running triple screens, so this is actually pretty important that it's capturing like that.
Disengage limiter. Track's clear. Push, push, push.
Yes, Mr. Crew Chief. It feels about nice. Also, I have some other information that's actually pretty interesting. Maybe when I get to the straight here, I'll show you. I opened up my Thrustmaster T500 wheel. Mainly because it started failing when it got hot.
Your brake temperatures look good.
But it appears that had no real cause. But what I found were these screws for adjusting the belt of the wheel. And you can sort of loosen those screws, and those adjusters you can push those in to kind of tighten up the belt. And I'm telling you, this wheel has always been broken. That belt has always been too loose. Like from the factory it was too loose. So after 4 years now I had this wheel, I found out that that belt is too loose. I tightened it up, and I'm telling you, my force feedback experience is now drastically different than it was before. Before I had like problems feeling the curbs. I'm driving shit here, man. before I had like problems feeling the curbs, and everything was kind of feeling sloppy and weird. And I drove this wheel I think twice in the 24-hour race, and also other people complained about it feeling like weak and they couldn't really feel the car. But tightening these up, I tightened it up all the way, like all that I could, and now it feels so good. It's like getting a completely new wheel. And there's two of them, two of those adjusters.
Take it easy, you've got cold tires.
And I actually even imagine that the PC racers and all the other Thrustmaster wheels with the belt drive some of them might be suffering from the same thing. Alright, 6th gear is maybe just a little too long, eh? Okay, it can spin the wheels in 1st gear, so... Here comes the big test. How fast can we do the Porsche curves? Oops. Okay, cutting on the inside doesn't do too much to the lap time, but whoa. Little power slide right there. Wow, it's been long since I raced anything proper. Tried a couple of weeks ago to run the URD Audi R18. Didn't get a proper setup for it, and for some reason one of my buttons was mapped to a neutral, which I normally never ever do, because what happens is you by accident press the neutral button during race. To get out of neutral, you panic and shift gear, and you shift into first, and you're doing 300 kilometers per hour down the straight.
Sector 1 time is good. Your front brakes are pretty hot now. Peter, come on, keep it between the lines. They'll delete this lap.
No, they won't. It's still counting, buddy. Track temperature. Radio check. Crew chief's not reacting. Somebody out there has any experience with crew chief and making that voice activation work, please tell me what I need to do to make it work. Of course, you can assign a whole ton of buttons for it, and you could just have your buttons on your steering wheel here. No mix in this. ABS button doesn't work. I don't think ABS is allowed on this server. Don't remember. Little bit too live on the curbs and settling back down again after the curbs. That would have to be worked out by stiffening the suspension a bit in front.
Sector 2 time is good.
And
it's fine, mate. It's just a scrape.
oh, I hit one of the cones. That actually does damage to the car now. Oh, the server's open. It's GTR24h server in the lobby, so if you want to join in, you can just pop by. Oh, gears are wrong. I think maybe first is about right. Fourth needs to be shorter, so we want to run in fourth all the way through here, and then down into third, accelerate out of this, and fourth again. And we should make fifth, and it should just run out of revs right here. Attack the curbs here. Might be in a small
Sector 3 time's okay.
Of changes to the track there on the curbs, because they're just not steep enough. It's possible to attack those curbs way too much right now. So that's a change that might actually come about before the big race. But I'm not responsible for the track, but at least I'd work to make those steeper.
Sector 1 time's okay.
300, come on! Okay. So we got some curb issues.
You've had a lot of air damage there, mate. The bodywork looks pretty fucked.
Bodywork looks pretty fucked. We can make that softer, we can make that higher and that higher. Also, we should do like this. Do like that, change the gears. All the way fourth, third, another click like that. Looks good. Make it rev all the way up. I think that's enough for another try. Running soft tires. Let's do it. Try again. Headlights on.
Pit exit's clear. Let's get some heat into these brakes.
Now it's definitely loose. Very dangerous on the throttle right now. And I think also changes that are gonna be made to the tracks, all the textures, they're all just whited out right now. Looks like everything's been washed with bleach. That's not very nice. To move the seat just a little bit lower in this car. Don't exactly know why, but I feel like it would be nice. Man, sometimes the game is just butter smooth. And then I get these peaks. Like someone's using my computer for something else. Maybe I should consider investing in another webcam for my pedals. So you guys can... Whoa! Try and save that by doing nothing. Just let it slide. That's gonna flat spot a tire or two.
Yellow flag, keep your wits about you, mate.
I'm the only guy on track, so I don't think Crew Chief Jim here knows that.
Green flag sector 3.
I don't know if he knows that I know.
We're seeing front locking going into Porsche curves.
No kidding, Jim. No kidding. Well, we got the tire temperatures up in the left rear wheel now, so the acceleration was a breeze. Oh, that's hard on that curve. That made the whole car jump. That wasn't good, but it made the car fly. And that we can do much faster.
Your right tyres are cold.
Yeah, I can see that. Just a hint of a flat spot here. Braking. Sorry about that. Is gonna happen again. Try and save it by locking up the
Bad luck, Peter. This lap's been invalidated. Watch those track limits.
No, it's not, Jim. Because I can see the times ticking still. Too loose on the curb still. But making it better there might impact the rest of the lap, so I guess that's really as much about adjusting as I just want to keep. See, that's weird, because that felt like
incident in sector 2. Sector 2 is yellow.
Continue turning that way, and that's a definite sign that I might be running too low on anti-roll bar, because the car just want to lean too much of the weight on the outside wheels. So we might have to actually compromise the curb handling. Sorry. Might have to compromise that and add just a tad bit more, is like 220 newtons. Oh well, not. Well, that depends on if there's some kind of multiplier in the game. There might be some kind of multiplier.
Limiter's still on. Disengage it. Exit's clear. Push. Green flag, sector 2.
Wanting to keep turn can also be combated by adding more power differential. If it's while it's on power, it's gonna make the car understeer more when I'm on throttle. Actually, I might want to try and just exchange that back again. So I might want to do this and then add some power if lock. up to 80 and see what that changes. That definitely was another lag spike combined with more power locking. Let's do some donuts in the pit lane. The regulation body always loves when LMP cars do donuts in the pit lane. That's what they want to see. And driving against the general traffic direction is also just a big plus. You get like little gift cards of hearts and stuff like that from the officials and race control.
All clear, push now.
Want to make sure to get a good Christmas present, always do donuts and drive in the opposite direction in the pit lane. Then you get all the good stuff. These weird lag spikes when it's just fine everywhere else.
Your tyres are cold, watch out.
Well, let's do a couple of time lapse, and I have to stop this because I'm in the middle of writing a text that goes in a letter to a certain very, very large motorsport news network with the subject of GTR24h. And that needs to be sent tomorrow. So that's exciting. If nothing else is exciting, that's exciting.
Your front brakes are getting pretty hot.
Yeah, well, I was at the end of the Mulsanne Straight gym. Want to see my brakes get cold? Watch them now. Does behave way better on throttle now. This is frighteningly fast. I genuinely wouldn't want to do this in real life. This would just, I would shit my pants if I did the Porsche curves like this in a real life LMP car every single time. It's completely brown pants moment all the time. And this isn't, like, jumping the curves like that isn't very nice either. Don't know if any one of you guys drive like lowered cars with hard springs, but I do. It's not nice to your back and stuff. Getting all of those small like punches in your ass when you're driving over the curves. It's not a nice feeling.
Sector 1 is quick.
Thank you, Jim. I appreciate that. Track temperature. No, Jim doesn't want to tell me anything. Just want to, or at least not what I want to hear. He just wants to say his own things. He has complete disregard for my needs. But I guess you can fix that voice activation thing. And just as I'm about to hit the perfect apex of the Michelin chicane on the Le Mans track, major lag spike. Oh, that's not very nice. I guess, could that be the new OBS Studio that's just not...
Sector 2 time is okay.
Wow, that was massive understeer. Whoa, 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 don't, no, 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 no. Like, I would drive this for 24 hours if anybody asked me to. This is like proper scary shit, man. Whoa, the lag, please. Come on. Incredible. It used to be like...
Sector 3 time is fast.
Faster. 38 something we did last year in these cars. Whoa, 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 trail braking too hard, a bit too late. Well, did a lap.
They'll delete this lap. You cut the track.
It looked okay, but, well. That's it for me, playing around with the setups, and telling you about the little band adjustments here. I'm gonna take that and mention it again for you guys. I'm gonna, you know what, I'm gonna take the wheel off and I'm gonna show you properly. Just shortly how to do that. It's I want to make sure you can see this also. Let's make the camera window. Can we make that transform fit on screen? There we go. Look at that. If you take the covering off the wheel, these things with little rollers on them, they hold the force feedback band in here, and you can, if I push it up here, you can actually see this. It's not completely tight yet. It can be even tighter. Phillips head screw there. Loosen that. Phillips head screw down there, loosen that. Push it up while it's loose, like push it hard. It's got a little, some kind of grippy things on the back, so you don't have to tighten them all that hard again when you tighten it back up again, but push it up or push it in, like literally as hard as you can. Tighten it up again. Do that one by one on these until you can't do. Put back on your wheel and boot up your favorite sim and watch that Thrustmaster wheel behave completely different, like 100%, total 100% improvement. So you're gonna be happy with that. That's a really good, like, pro tip. So listen, can we reset that by undoing changes here? No. And can I? No, because it's locked, or yeah, it's locked. Can I lock everything else and then like only have the webcam on, and then resize it back again? Put me back down here in my corner. There we go. Thanks for watching. That's it for tonight. Do please subscribe on the YouTube channel. Means a lot to me when you do. And thanks for the comments and the help by different guys trying to set this up in the new OBS studio. I'm definitely not a pro in this. Half the time I don't know what I'm doing. I was much better in the OBS Classic. I really knew what I was doing there. This is just a bunch of gibberish to me, man. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye bye.